That was a great victory for Georgia. A lot of fun afterwards in the locker room, getting a chance to celebrate with the players and coaches, and just seeing a smile on everybody's face. It's always a war to come here and play. It's always a battle. It went about the way we thought. We thought both teams were going to play a physical brand of football. We thought there would be a lot of field position in this game. We thought covering kicks was going to be important. We thought just the little things were going to be important in the kicking game, and just really proud of how everybody played. Everybody rose to the occasion at one time or another. Offense did enough when we had to. Our special teams, we scored obviously on the punt return by Isaiah, which was a great job by everybody, including Isaiah. It was a great job by our defense, getting the ball, getting the turnovers for us, and just playing stout, even getting that last turnover in the red area when they could have scored a TD and might have made it a lot more interesting at that point. Being able to punt the ball out of there deep in our territory was huge. Being able to recover the obvious onside kick at the end of the game was big. I mean, all those, it's like John Lilly says, and he was in charge of those last two units I just mentioned, but he'll say it every week. He goes, men, these things aren't important until they're important. Sometimes you work on them all year long. You might work on them for 2-3 years and never see an onside kick, and then all of a sudden it's about to happen and everybody realizes how important it is. So just really good execution on that last punt and execution on that last onside kick recovery. But I'll open it up to anybody who has a question.
Coach, time of possession can often be a little bit of an overrated stat, but you guys owned it today. Was that also part of your plan coming in, was to try and give the defense a rest and own the clock?
Well, I personally think the number of plays is a little bit bigger stat because really time of possession could just be the time in between snapping the ball. You might just be standing around for 20 seconds before you snap it, which is fine, and we did huddle today. When you huddle, you tend to use more clock, and then when you're at the line of scrimmage and you can't hit that well, it takes the clock down to near zero. We had to use a couple timeouts in the first half. We took a delay of game after it was 3rd and a mile. Well, I didn't want to use a timeout at that point. We could have called timeout to stop that delay. Yeah, the goal was to control the ball as much as possible. We knew we were trying to run the football, and time of possession. Not to diminish it, it is important. I'm glad we were on the big end of that. But sometimes it's just a matter of who runs the most plays that makes the most difference.
Mark, Isaiah, what makes him such a dynamic punt returner is his ability to make those first people miss.
He's got nerve, number one. You got to have nerve, and sometimes that nerve will work against you too. You may try to catch a ball that you shouldn't be trying to catch. And the true story of this whole thing was Isaiah was really struggling, in my opinion, on his decision making, and that's why we put Terry in there. And some of his decision making was just in practice, and so we gave Terry the opportunity. But what Terry wasn't doing, when the ball got kicked short, he wasn't alerting everybody. We make a call. We just most everybody uses the term Peter, meaning just get out of the way of the ball. And you got to be demonstrative. You got to go and show everybody where the ball is to get out of the way. And the first time he didn't do it, we coached him up. And then the second time he didn't do it, so we put Isaiah in, and that might have been a good thing. I mean, Terry might have done the same thing. He's a young guy. I'm really not blasting him at all because it's experience. It's a learning process. But that's why Isaiah was in the game at that moment, because Terry was just not experienced enough to make sure everybody would get out of the way of a short kick like that.
So